Welcome to Pop Culture Icons. I'm your host, Maya Starr. Today on Pop Culture Icons, imagine achieving greatness, only to find yourself wrestling with a darkness that threatens to consume everything you've built. In today's episode, witness Denzel Washington's rise to fame and discover the shocking personal crisis that forced him to confront the demons lurking beneath the surface, a battle you, too, might face on your own path to success. The words hang in the stale air of a dimly lit dressing room, where Denzel Washington stands alone before a cracked mirror. At 70, the lines etched in his face tell stories of triumph and tribulation. But tonight, something else lurks behind those eyes, a weariness, a question. You'd expect to find him basking in the glow of success. 2 Academy Awards, a Tony, countless accolades that cement his place in Hollywood's pantheon. Yet here he stands, wrestling with a burden that fame and fortune cannot lift. The mirror fractures his reflection, each shard holding a different version of the man he's become. In one, a young boy in Mount Vernon, New York, watches his father command attention from the pulpit, voice thundering with purpose. In another, a college student faces expulsion, his dreams scattered like autumn leaves across campus grounds. You know that feeling, when the path you thought was certain crumbles beneath your feet, when your mother's unwavering faith feels more like an anchor than a lifeline. Young Denzel didn't stride toward Hollywood. He stumbled through odd jobs, each paycheck a reminder of how far he stood from greatness. Mount Vernon shaped him differently than most. While others played basketball on cracked courts, he watched. While church hymns filled the air with praise, he studied the congregation's faces. In his grandmother's house, surrounded by worn books and whispered wisdom, he learned that power lies not in being the loudest voice, but in understanding the quietest ones. This wasn't the typical actor's origin story. No childhood plays in the backyard, no desperate dreams of stardom. Instead, a quiet observer emerged, collecting human experiences like others collected baseball cards. Sound familiar? Those moments when you stood apart, watching, learning, while others rushed headlong into life's current. The words stung, but they revealed an ugly truth about an industry built on beautiful lies. Each rejection pushed him toward late-night bars, where temporary solace waited at the bottom of a glass. You've felt it too, haven't you? That need to numb yourself against the world's constant no. But here's where the story shifts. Where most would bend, Denzel stood straighter. Where others would soften their edges, he sharpened his. Every too urban became fuel for a fire that would eventually illuminate Hollywood's darkest corners. New York City, a concrete jungle where dreams are made and broken hourly. Imagine cramped audition rooms where hope hangs thick in the air like summer humidity. Picture Denzel, script in hand, fighting not just for a role, but for the right to be seen as more than a stereotype. This wasn't just his battle, it's yours too. Every time you've stood before your own judges, trying to prove your worth while staying true to who you are. The weight of those moments, the pressure to conform, the fear that success might cost you your soul. When Sent Elsewhere came calling, it wasn't the fairy tale moment you might expect. The hospital set became both sanctuary and prison, a chance to be seen, yet a risk of being forever typecast. In his pocket, a worn theater script from his mother reminded him daily of where he came from, of who he was beneath the scrubs and dialogue. The price of success revealed itself slowly. Directors pushed for roles that would compromise his values. Fellow actors warned him to play the game. Each compromise offered tempted with greater fame, larger paychecks, but something inside him refused to bend. You know that voice, the one that whispers no when everything else screams yes. If you're enjoying pop culture icons, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Fame Formula. Discover how unknowns like Elon, Taylor Swift, and Beyoncé became cultural phenomena. Now, back to the episode. Malcolm X changed everything, not just for Denzel, but for Hollywood itself. Here was a role that demanded more than acting. It required channeling the raw truth of a man who refused to be defined by others' expectations. The critics raved, the awards followed, but with them came scrutiny, controversy, and a question that would haunt him: was the influence worth the cost? Success has a shadow side. For Denzel, it manifested in late-night drinks that became too frequent. In moments of isolation that grew longer, the pressure to maintain an image while wrestling internal demons took its toll. This wasn't just about alcohol, it was about losing sight of yourself in the glare of public expectation. You've seen it happen to others, maybe you've felt it yourself. That gradual drift from who you are to who others need you to be. The small compromises that accumulate like rust on steel. But here's where Denzel's story transcends Hollywood. Watch today's young actors and filmmakers breaking barriers, telling stories that would have been impossible decades ago. See how his refusal to compromise created space for others to dream bigger. This wasn't just about making movies, it was about making change possible. Back in that dressing room, Denzel faces his reflection once more. The weariness remains, but something else has emerged: understanding, peace. The kind that comes not from conquering the world, but from conquering yourself. This isn't just his truth, it's yours too. Every battle you fight, every compromise you resist, shapes not just your story, but the stories of those who will follow your path. So here's your challenge: look in your own mirror tonight. Beyond the reflection, beyond the roles you play for others. What battles are you avoiding? What truths are you refusing to face? Denzel's greatest legacy isn't in his performances. It's in showing us that true greatness lies not in achieving perfection, but in remaining authentic through the struggle. The camera pulls back one final time, leaving Denzel in that quiet dressing room. The mirror still shows its cracks, but now they seem less like flaws and more like the lines of a map. A map leading not to Hollywood's version of success, but to something far more valuable: the courage to remain true to yourself, no matter the cost. And isn't that the kind of greatness we're all truly destined for? On the next episode of Pop Culture Icons, imagine standing in the shadows of the stage, unseen, yet yearning to captivate. Denzel Washington's journey was one of quiet observation, turning personal struggles into cinematic triumphs. But what happens when that observer becomes the observed? What if the pursuit of truth on screen demanded confronting inner darkness off screen? Next week, we delve into the world of Robert De Niro, another leading lady and gentleman of drama who traded in his youthful optimism for an isolating quest to embody his character's depths. Don't miss how these two titans of method acting challenge societal norms and reveal the price of artistic immersion, all while exploring this week's theme: the many faces of method acting. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code, or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, The Fame Formula. 7 days, 7 brilliant tactics. Learn the mindset to go from invisible to influential using the dark arts of fame engineering. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/PCI. Thanks for watching.